I've been waiting for a card to come through the mail. I set up my direct deposit for my I get paid through the VA for basic housing, and I set
Okay.
up my income for work to go to my account. Right now the balance is zero. I just tried to log in, and it's saying it looks like it says that it's closed, and it definitely
Okay,
should
let me
not be closed.
do you mind providing me your full
Be
social?
closed.
Let me take a look at it. Do you mind providing me your full social, please?
How do I know that you're KeyBank?
You're calling the Hazelden Key Bank.
I can
That's just like that's.
I can give you the last four of my social, but I'm
Well,
not
then what?
comfortable with.
Can you give me your first and last name spelled out?
Code is 2343. And now I know you're keeping because this is the same thingy mobobber that they send all of their passcodes to through the automated
Okay.
system.
Yes.
So now I'm less afraid.
Understood. I can understand you. There is definitely the rise of fraud, so I understand. Okay. So Paul, when I look in here at your profile, I do see your accounts were closed out.
Why? I just opened it.
And that's what I was about to say. So when you opened your account, there was an issue with verifying your address. And so you should have received just both a phone call and a letter from KeyBank.
I haven't received anything. I've been just waiting for you guys to send me. What do you need me to? So the routing number and checking number is invalid, correct?
So if the account is closed now, so that account would no longer be valid. So what it is that they needed, our customer identification department needed proof of your physical address.
I brought letters in with me when I was there.
So I can't say like I wasn't the one that opened your account, so I don't know what happened at the account open.
Welcome to the stream.
I don't know what happened at the account opening process and what you brought in, but it shows that that's what was needed.
What do you need me to do to get an account open today and issue a temporary checking card, because I don't have access to any money. All I have is $14, and the $1,000 that the Army was supposed to give to me just got sent to an account that was open on Tuesday but is closed today. Like, it's super inconvenient that after I get paid, my account is now closed. Does that make sense? Like, I'm supposed to get paid on the 1st. I was given a routing number and a checking number that I've been using to have my funds routed to, but now I'm being told that those accounts are closed. So where did the money go?
So there looks like when you open the account, there was $6 in the account. Because they didn't get the documentary proof of your address, that closed after a 10-day period, and you should be getting a check in the mail to the address we have on file for the $6.
So what happened to the $1,000 that the Army was supposed to be sending me?
I can see that was scheduled to be deposited. It did get returned because the account was closed. So it got returned to the Army. So you would need to contact them to
so I get paid tomorrow. I get paid tomorrow through my company. What am I supposed to do with that check? My rent is due on Monday. What am I supposed to do about paying my rent?
I understand. For that do they pay you in a check, or are they going to be
It's direct deposit to the account that you guys closed when I physically came into the building with my address on a letter.
So if it's supposed to be direct deposited, it's going to automatically return to the company because it's a closed account. We can get you a new account open. You would just need to come into the branch, and we can help you with that. Please do bring a letter because it's highly likely that they would need that documentary proof again. It was a mistake. They should have probably taken a scan of that letter so that we had it.
I have a question. Are you sending the check? Are you sending my credit card to my account, to my house through FedEx and need me to sign it? Because I'm never home. I get off work at 2 p.m. Is that why you can't verify my address? Or is it just going to come through standard mail and be in my mailbox?
So it wasn't the debit card not being able to be delivered that caused the address verification issue. It was that once when clients open accounts, it goes through, after that, it goes through our customer identification unit. If they see something with the address, such as like it is coming back as a business address versus a residential address or something along those lines, they may ask for proof of the address. And that's what happened with this one, is that they're asking proof for the address because something came up when they were verifying all the information provided.
Okay.
What other questions do you have for me?
None. I'll be there to open an account as soon as I possibly can. What time are y'all closed today?
We close at 5.
I'll try to be there as soon as possible. YouTube, I'm assuming you guys can still hear me, correct? Just type yes in the chat if you can still hear me. Are you hearing the words that are coming out of my mouth? Marco. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the KeyBank account and the Armed Forces account. And it's going to take a second because I do this on YouTube and on. So here's the KeyBank account. I gave them $6 to open the account. Here's the Armed Forces bank account. This is my Armed Forces bank account.
armed forces. I know most people are not going to care, but this is probably going to help more people than it's not. Armed forces, the banks work together to make sure that we can't achieve any kind of financial success beyond what they want us to achieve. So imagine I'm trying to explain this situation to my wife or my girlfriend, and all I'm going to be doing for the next fucking 4 or 5 hours is arguing with her about what I'm telling her and what I'm saying is a lie, and I'm making excuses, and I don't know what I'm talking about, and they would never do this, and what do you mean they closed your account? You must have been doing something illegal, or how come this is happening, or why is that happening? And it's just all this unnecessary chaos and drama. It's really simple what happened. When I got in the military, I had an armed forces account that I couldn't use back then. I have to put this in perspective. When I got out of the military and I first started working and I needed to pay my rent, I couldn't use my armed forces bank account to pay my rent, right? I didn't think much of it at the time because it's just like transition out of the military. I need to just get stuff done. It's really difficult and really hard to just pay my rent using my armed forces account. They're in another state, so it's not like it's a big deal. I should be able to just pay my rent, but I'm not really going to stress about it because it's not really that big of a deal. So I opened up a key bank account, and I would transfer the money from my armed forces bank account into my key bank account, and Key Bank would give me a cashier's check that I would use to pay my rent, right? That's what I was doing in Michigan. A bunch of stupid shit happened between me and my, at the time, fiance, who I married and became my wife, who now wants a divorce. But none of that really matters for the present. That's how I wound up homeless for the time that I was homeless. So I was living in my car, having to eat at McDonald's and at Burger King, and having to manage my money in a really weird way for almost a year with no fucking problems, with zero problems. Just living my life and not being able to be a functional, competent member of society. So I did that for almost a year and a half, because I went to college and everything. I was in Florida and I was in college, and I was trying my hardest just to stay focused on my goal of becoming a video game designer and putting energy into that to move toward what it is that I would like to do with my life and with the time that I have on this planet. So while I was in Florida, same issue with armed forces, same basic conflict. So I went to Navy Federal and opened up a Navy Federal account so I would have a local account open. I can't transfer money out of my armed forces bank account into another bank account. They don't let me do that, right? So I have the Navy Federal account, I have the armed forces account. I can't get access to the money to pay my rent and to do basic things that I need to do. The things that I need to do, I can't do with my armed forces bank account. But the things that are trivial and not relevant, I'm able to do those things. So I spend about a year being homeless. I move down here, I get 2 jobs, I start hustling to get the money together to get the apartment. I still can't pay my fucking rent. So I call armed forces and order checks. I have personal checks that I can use to pay my rent with. And I've been trying to write the checks to pay my rent, but the money has to be available in my account for me to pay my rent. So I have to save the money to pay my rent. But the fucking leasing office keeps giving me 14-day notices upon eviction instead of allowing me the time I need to save after I gave them a $1,300 security deposit. All the money that I saved while I was homeless, I gave to the fucking apartments to get this apartment. That's the only reason why I'm struggling financially, because I saved more than $3,600 sleeping in my car, doing what is expected of me, paying off debts so that I could get an apartment, the one I'm living in now. And when I gave them all the money that I had, it put me in the hole. It put me in the hole. I had $0 and 0 cents, and I had to build that shit back up. Every time you get a job, you have to go 14 days in the hole before you can make enough money to do anything. So the times that I keep getting jobs and kept losing jobs and kept having money and kept losing money, it culminated to where I am right now today. When I quit working at Firestone because they kept treating me like fucking shit every day, when I left there, I went 2 weeks in the hole to get the job that I have now. The job that I have now is underpaying me because I'm African American, but it doesn't matter because I make the money up with the money that I get from the government, right? So the money I get from the government is the $1,000 I'm supposed to get every month to pay my rent. I should have $2,200 fucking dollars, and I should be able to write a personal check to pay my rent, which is $1,330. But since I can't fucking do that, they're gonna charge me a late fee on top of the negative $622 that's in my armed forces bank account and a negative 0.1 fucking cent that's in KeyBank right now, when they had $6 that they sent to the wrong fucking address. The $6 that I deposited into their account, they closed the account down and sent it to a military account that was associated with me living here in the state of Washington when I was enlisted. Because the account on my ID is linked to a P.O. box that I no longer have, because the P.O. box got closed down because they didn't receive payment from Armed Forces fucking bank account. Armed Forces didn't pay UPS the money that they were supposed to receive for the bank account, for the P.O. box that I had. They didn't honor the direct deposit. So since they didn't honor the direct deposit, it didn't go through. And since it didn't go through, I can't pay them. All the problems that they have and everything that they're doing and all the justifications for why things aren't the way that they want them to be is because Paul Emerson isn't nobody's fucking bitch. I'm not going to jump through your hoops and do what the fuck you want me to do so you can make money, because it doesn't make any fucking sense. This is what they do to the African fucking American every day, all the goddamn time. And instead of us realizing that the country is full of fucking shit, doesn't want to serve our best interests, and doesn't care about us, we keep jumping through the fucking hoops and doing the wrong fucking thing and being invested in a fucking white ass Jesus for no reason. For no reason. There is nothing on the other side of this shit except for more unnecessary bullshit and chaos. And we are invested in making sure that they always have authority and that they always have power. And when I say they, I'm talking about the Caucasian Americans that are at the top, the fucking elitists that believe that all non-Caucasians should be chattel property and working for free to make them money, like the sheep and the cows and the chickens and all of the goats and all of the tractors and all of the other pieces of utilitarian infrastructure in this world that they use to make profit. And they don't want to actually have to pay you a livable wage just to get up every day and do your job. They don't want you to be functional, and then they want to justify putting you in prison because you have to eat food, you have to drink water, you have to pay for transportation. And none of it makes any fucking... Please explain to me the benefit of whiteness in this world. Please give me a clear understanding of why it's important for people that are not competent and are not able to do their fucking job, They should be in a position of authority to make my life fucking miserable. How does the world benefit from it? Put it in perspective for me. I understand that there should be managers. I understand that there should be banks. I understand that there should be police. I get all that. I want to understand why whiteness has to be the way that we do everything in this world. What is so important and so necessary about a fucking group of people that don't want to do any fucking thing, but constantly want to be held in a position of authority and high status and worshiped and praised and validated for not doing any fucking thing by people that have to go twice as hard and do twice as much for fucking what? Why did I start April 1st with a negative $622 balance when I have to save money for my fucking car so that I can pay my car? Why should I have to move out of the apartment and be fucking homeless and sleep on the street again because I'm just being a functional fucking adult? Why? Why is that a thing? Every day I run 3 fucking days to prove and validate that I know how to make a plan, execute the plan, expect the plan to go off the rails, and then throw away the plan. So make it make sense to me. Make anything that she said in that video, in that recording that I gave to you, that I played, make that shit make sense. We received money to your account that has been open with a balance of $6. When I was there and there's like, are you going to put any money in your account? I was like, I have $1,200 on my Navy Federal account that I need to transfer out of this account into that account. Oh, well, there's no way that we can transfer the money from your Navy Federal account into your KeyBank account. No fucking shit. No fucking shit. That's the problem. That's the problem. Why can't Paul Emerson transfer money from Paul Emerson's account into Paul Emerson's account? Why can't I do that? Why can't I move money from one bank account into another bank account? Why do I need all these third-party apps and all of this other stuff? Why is it so difficult for me to just do the things that need to be done on a day-to-day basis to be functional? And you know what the biggest problem is? Everybody that I've had around me that I try to deal with and I try to interact with wants me to understand that I'm fucking retarded and I don't understand how things work. And if I would just stop being fucking retarded and stop pretending like I'm intelligent, then all of my problems will go away. But what is the problem? Why is it so fucking difficult to just do the things you're supposed to do the way you're supposed to do them as expected? You communicate clearly and concisely what I should do. Why is it hard to do that? Why is it hard to do that? How does my account have a negative 622 balance on it when I haven't been spending any fucking money because I know there's no money in the account? Why do they have to call me and ask me when I'm going to pay them when they had access to the money and the only thing I need them to do is pay my fucking rent? Pay my fucking rent. I have $1,200 in my Navy Federal account because I communicated to the job what was going on. And when I'm communicating to them what was going on in my personal life, my supervisor's like, I don't fucking care. I'm aware that you don't fucking care. But I have to communicate my life to you so that you can understand what I'm having to deal with, so that you can understand what is needed by me, which is the fucking exchange of the job. I don't come here and do this job because I love it. I come here specifically to do this job so that you can give me the money I need so that I can pay my rent and pay my bills and sit at my computer and write stories that I want to sell. And every second of every fucking day is designed to make sure that I cannot do that shit. And when I try to communicate to an African American female or an African woman that I married, that this is the things that happen in this world to us all the time, and nobody seems to care, and nobody wants to understand, the only thing they tell us is, you are the problem. You should look at yourself and understand that if all these things are happening to you, the common denominator is that you are the problem. And to that, I say, go fuck yourself. Go fucking fuck yourself. That's what I say to that energy. Because at the end of the day, your parents are supposed to raise you to be a functional adult. And if you are raised to be a functional adult and you're able to be a functional adult, if you're raised to be a functional adult and you're able to be a functional adult, in the energy of being a functional adult, you should be able to expect things to happen in a functional way and achieve goals and have objectives. And that's the whole point of what I'm trying to do. It doesn't make any fucking sense. I shouldn't have to get up every goddamn morning and think about the process of moving the fuck out of the apartment. For what? I make $3,600 fucking dollars every goddamn month. Why should I move out? When I was paying child support, I could afford all this shit. So why is it so fucking difficult? Why is it so hard? Because they need to steal money from me to fund their fucking war. That's the reason why. Because I'm fucking suspicious because of my skin complexion and my hair texture. And it's weird that you're not doing anything normal. Because you won't let me be fucking normal. The whole system is designed to make sure that they catch criminals. And if you keep telling everybody that just because your skin is dark and your hair is nappy, then you're automatically a criminal, then they think it's weird that this guy came in 10 days ago and opened an account and we haven't seen or heard from him. And now there's $1,000 in his account and it's military. And it's weird that this money just came into the account and he isn't saying anything or he's not here and we don't understand what's going on. Everybody's not going to fit in your fucking box. Everybody on the planet doesn't have the same luxury to do the things that you expect us to do because you don't treat us like we're fucking equal. We're not being treated, non-Caucasians in this world don't operate in the same space as Caucasians. That's the reason why all of the boxes have to be checked so they can understand how they're going to treat you differently. What is your ethnicity or how do you identify? Who fucking cares? Who fucking cares? Why does it fucking matter? So that you can turn a blind eye when the box is checked white and you can see that there's fraudulent shit happening on the account? You don't have to actually address the issues because the box is checked white, so you're going to just let the money laundering happen? You're going to just let the criminal activity that you can clearly see that is taking place, it's going to be okay because they checked the box as white? Is that why it fucking matters? And you think it's weird that somebody came into your bank and opened up an account and now there's money moving into the fucking account? You think it's weird that an African American is getting $1,000 fucking dollars from the government? You think that shit's weird? You don't have the capacity as an institution to verify that the money that's coming to the account is coming from the federal government for a VA. You can't verify that. You think it's weird. Like, why is it weird? Because of my skin complexion and my hair texture and because I was homeless for a fucking year. None of that shit adds up. It doesn't make any fucking sense why there's no alcohol and there's no tobacco on his account. It doesn't make any sense why he's not going to strip clubs. It doesn't make any sense why he's not engaged in any of the normal behavior that we expect from an individual. Because I'm not trying to be a part of a fucking broken system. The only thing I want to do is live a good fucking life and be a decent human being. And I don't want to compromise on that shit. I joined the military because I would rather murder other fucking people than to commit suicide or entertain any of the bullshit that I don't want to entertain. I run every 3 miles just to keep this shit together so that I can navigate your fucking bullshit. Like, it's so infuriating. And the reason why I'm making this video is not to rant. I'm making this video because when I was 20 and 21 and 22, I had no fucking body to help me understand how I got to where I am right fucking now. And the only reason why I'm making this video is because I hope that at least a handful of people will come across this video in their life and they will be able to say, you know what? This shit makes fucking sense. And from this, as a human being that has been given information that I can use to actually make better predictions about my direction of my future and where I'm headed and what I'm trying to do, this is going to help me be able to get out of this bullshit. That's the only reason why I'm making these videos. My channels on YouTube is strictly to build an audience so that I can sell my stories to, so that I can market my comic books to, so I can market my video games to. All the stuff I'm trying to do, that's fucking it. That's it. I'm trying to move into another apartment. I'm not asking for money. This isn't GoFundMe, help me. I don't need fucking help. I have 3,600. My monthly income is 3,600 fucking dollars. That's the whole point. The my 2 cent life system that I've been building and I've been using to go my life with is like, you're fucking straight. There is no reason, absolutely no reason why you should be living paycheck to paycheck with the money that you're getting. There is no reason why every other week your account should be in the negative. There's no reason for it. There's absolutely no fucking reason. And it's fucking infuriating. It doesn't make any, it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense. They like, I've been ranting for a while. I opened up the YouTube chat. The soul is uninterested in telling him to shut the fuck up and get a job. Your comments reek of ignorance and arrogance. Your skin complexion is shown. Yes, you do. You're just a nut. Typical blaming skin tone for misfortune and not his poor life choices. Gee, shocker. Sadly, the structure is outdated and it's promoted as and it's prompted as is, but most people don't even realize why that position was opened in the first place. Ah, you're a psychopath. Got it. It doesn't make sense and is a terrible option. Again, time to get a job, buddy. Instead of waiting for heaven on earth, we can create it here as we are alive right now. Instead of waiting for heaven on earth, we can create it here as we are alive right now, because that is what is guaranteed. Delusional. Maybe stop spending your money on dumb BS. So that is exactly the kind of response that I would expect. And one of the things that I've learned in life is that it doesn't really matter. When I was 13, 14, around that age, my father told me that racism was a thing. And I was still in middle school, and I said, I don't believe you. I don't believe you. I want you to understand, as a 14-year-old boy, I looked my father in the eyes, a man, younger than the man that I am now, but older than me. I looked him in the eyes and said, I don't believe you. I don't believe that what you're saying is true. I don't believe that racism exists. I think that if we just go with the status quo and do what society says that we should do, that none of the problems that you're saying that you're having will be true. You don't have to listen to nothing that I'm saying. I don't expect you to. But what I do understand is that you're going to find yourself in a situation in life, and these words that you're ignoring from me right now, you're going to be like, this is what he was talking about. You're going to find yourself in a situation in this world trying to explain something to somebody, and they're going to be disinterested. They're not going to care. And everything and all of the negative comments that you guys are making on the post because you think that it's funny, you think that it's not an issue. It's coming. It's coming. Like, these videos is just to help the people that they're going to help. It's coming. And you're going to see it. You're going to see it. And I know that the people that are in the background that aren't commenting, that are hearing what I'm saying, don't just hear what I'm saying. Take the notes down. Understand what I'm trying to convey so that you can make better decisions. Society is not designed for you to be a functional person. Society is designed for you to be in compliance to the structure that they want you to be in compliance to. They don't want to compete. They don't want to fucking compete. And they know that the Bank of Paul Emerson is a registered and trademark entity, and they see that shit. They fucking see it. The financial institution sees exactly what I'm building to. And that's why my account is negative $622 fucking dollars. I haven't even spent. How do you spend money that you don't have? When would they won't even give me my fucking money when the account is in the positive to pay my rent with. They won't allow me to pull money off of my account. They won't allow me to go to Walmart and get money orders so that I can do the things that I need to do, because I was using that the financial institution to start the Bank of Paul Emerson. And then the first thing everybody wants to say is, oh, you were committing fraud. No, it's not about committing fraud. It's simply about giving away money to people to build a foundation. I'm exactly where I knew I was going to be, exactly when I was supposed to be fucking there. It's called making long-term goals and having a long-term plan and being a visionary and moving toward and executing on your own fucking vision. And no one's going to understand that if you don't explain it. They see what the fuck that I've been doing financially. They understand exactly what I'm doing in the background financially. And it scares the hell out of them to the point where I have 2 fucking bank accounts that are in the negative. 2 bank accounts in the negative. There's no police officers kicking in my door. The videos are online. You can just go through my actual page and you can see me sleeping with the police watching me. And I know I sound like the crazy dude that's saying all of the crazy conspiracy theory shit. But I structured it all under the principles of the Bank of Paul Emerson to explain how you apply empirical evidence to your day-to-day life. But everybody wants to operate from a belief system. You want to believe that the reason why my account is negative $622 is because I'm not being a functional fucking adult. But I run every fucking 3 days, 2 miles to show that I am consistent and competent and able to make a plan and execute on that plan. I was sleeping in my fucking car at the rest stop and I got an apartment. I was sleeping in my car at Full Sail University, maintaining a 90% GPA. But you want to believe that there's something that I'm not saying because every goddamn day the internet tells you that African Americans are the problem. African American males are the problem. The people in a position of authority and power and control in the country are Caucasian men. The problems that we have in society are based on the institution that exists that is ran by people that are predominantly Caucasian men. But everybody wants to look at the black guy walking down the street like the reason why they're having the problems that they're having in their life and they're suffering the way that they're suffering is because the black guy is walking down the street. So what are we going to do? What is the end game goal? There isn't one. There isn't one. Because as long as you can look at your skin complexion and you can look at your hair texture and you can look at your eye color and understand that you're not African American or Latino or Asian or Hindu Indian or Aborigines Australian, then you're going to be statistically immune to everything that I'm describing. That all of the faults and all the failures are on you. They want me to deposit money into my KeyBank account, but I can't physically give them money from my Navy Federal account. They don't have any way to take money from one account and put it in the other account. Why not? Why is that a difficult thing for you to do? Why is that hard for you to do? Why do I have 2 bank accounts that are in the negative? The money that I was supposed to use to pay my rent is due on the 6th. Every month, everything lines up. And I knew Armed Forces was going to do what they were going to do. If the $1,000 that I get for going to school, the money that I get from going to school, Armed Forces is eating it up. They're just eating that shit up. My rent is $1,330. Follow the math, right? If my rent is $1,330 and I work full-time 40 hours a week and I get $1,000 from the government to go to school full-time, and I use that $1,000 that the government gives me for going to school full-time for rent, how much money is left from the $1,330 that I have to use to pay my rent? Do I have to take out of my check for work to pay my rent? $330. However, if my account is in a negative every fucking month at the end of every month because I get paid on a bi-weekly schedule and I get this one-time payment at the beginning of the month from from the government, how will I be able to use that money to pay my rent. Armed forces, I want you guys to understand what you saw. They're gonna steal $622 from me because I don't have any money in my account to pay bills. Do you know why my account is empty? Because I pay my fucking bills. So if I'm paying my bills and I'm paying them overdraft fees and they're not actually honoring the bills because I'm paying them the overdraft fees and then the bills aren't getting paid, let me slow down. The account doesn't have any money in it. They charge me an overdraft fee. The overdraft fee is supposed to pay the debt to the institutions so that the institutions will receive payment. Then the money that I make goes into the account and then it brings the negative balance back to balance. But for some reason, the people that I owe money are still calling me like, when are you gonna pay this bill? And I'm like, I don't have the money to pay this bill right now. I will have to make arrangements to pay you later. Then I pay them money later, and then the account doesn't have any money in it because I'm paying my bills. And then at the beginning of the month again, the account is negative again because they're still giving these bills money. They're still giving them the money. And if Nessa was here, she could shake her head and say, that's exactly what's happening. I was there in your car when you called the insurance company and they said that they received the payment from you, but they still closed down your account. I was there. I heard them say it. I heard them say that you paid them the money and then they didn't receive payment, so they shut your account down, your insurance account down. And then I heard you tell them that you paid them again, and then you paid them a second time, and then they didn't get paid a second time, and then they close your account down again. And I heard them say that they want like another $600 or $700 from you to do what? The same fucking thing you've already done twice. The same thing you've already done twice. That's what you want. You want me to jump through the same hoop again. And then the only thing that happens on the internet is, y'all niggas is broke. Y'all ain't got no money. And it's like, well, yeah, if I'm not running around flipping my money, selling drugs and pimping out women, and if I'm not engaged in the quality of life that is expected of me as an African American, of course I'm going to struggle. But why do I have to do that? Why do I have to do that? Why is that the only way that African Americans can make it in this world? Why do we have to always just be tap dancing coons to be successful? And I don't mean any disrespect with that. I'm just saying, why is that the only way that we can be successful in this world? The only thing that I want to do is science and philosophy and write interesting stories. That's all I'm trying to do. All I do is come home, do my homework, go to sleep, wake up, do my laundry, and back out to work. Eat food. That's it. When I had $190 in my armed forces account and I went to go get food and I just swiped my card for $250 to get food, it got declined. I can't buy groceries. Winco Food don't take credit. So the money that I'm putting on my credit card, because I want to save and build my credit, the money I'm putting on my credit card, I can't use it to buy food. I can use my credit. Even my mother, I was explaining to my mother, she's like, yeah, that's the way it is, and it's always been that way, and you can't use your credit card to pay your rent, and you can't this and that. You can't use your credit card to pay your rent. So I can use the money on my credit card to go to the casino to try to hit jackpots. But the idea that I would want to use the money on my credit card as emergency money to pay my rent is not an option. Imagine you have $1,500 on your credit card and your rent is $1,330 and you fall on hard times and you need the money on your credit card to pay your rent and you can't because you can't use your credit cards to pay your rent. Why not? Why not? Why is it weird that you would want to use the money on your credit card to pay your bills and pay your rent? Well, if you would just be responsible and do things in accordance with the way society wants you to do them, you'll fail. You will fail. Everybody is failing. The whole world is going to shit. Is it Paul Emerson's fault that the whole world is going to shit? Am I the reason why the whole world is the way that it is? Is that the way that this works? No. And then when African Americans show up stressed the fuck out at work, and everyone's all worried and panicking about what we're gonna do, and I don't understand why he's always so tense and so angry and so upset, because I can't do basic fucking shit. I can't do basic fucking shit. It is this energy right here. It's the reason why I started the Mike 2 Cent Life System. This energy compounded with people saying, well, you're the problem. All the things that are negatively happening to you in your life is the result of you being a problem. You are the problem. I'm not the fucking problem. I'm not the problem. I'm not going to think negatively about anything about who I am and what I need to do. I'm not going to entertain any of your stereotypes. I'm an American citizen. I've been doing this for 43 years, and I expect none of this stuff to change. For the last 3 weeks, I've already known that I was going to arrive at this exact same place. And now I'm here. That's why I communicated to my manager at work. She don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear about your problems. I don't want to hear about your trials and tribulations. So I stopped telling her. And I'm sure she feels a certain kind of way because I'm not talking to her about my problems. But when I came to you to communicate what was going on and what my day-to-day life was going on outside of the job, you didn't want to hear it. You didn't want to hear it. You don't have to hear it. When I went to her boss, the guy that runs the warehouse, and I was like, I need to go home right now for these reasons. And I went to explain it. He said, I don't care. Will you be here tomorrow? And I'm like, yeah. That's the way that shit's supposed to work. That's how that shit's supposed to work. You know that I got a life and I got things that I got to do. I know that you got a life and I know that you got things that you got to do. Shit happens all the goddamn time. So in that energy of me saying, hey, I need to go right now for these things, and I, as a man, I don't have to explain to you why. That's how that shit's supposed to work. I don't need her energy of, let me figure out exactly what he's doing wrong so I can understand exactly what he's trying to be deceitful about, what he's lying about, and what he's trying to hide. Everybody don't have to hide shit. Everybody don't have to be deceiving. The world doesn't run on 100% of people are overt and covert. You might be doing some dirt, but that doesn't mean that everybody is doing dirt. And that Christian stance that I am a Christian and I do wrong because I know that all the other Christians around me are also doing wrong, so that makes me immune to being judged by God, is wasted fucking life. It's wasted life and it's wasted potential. Everybody wants a participation trophy for showing up and not doing any fucking thing. I was present. Didn't I write my name down on the roster to show that I showed up to the event? Like, no. You had your friend write your name on a roster so that there will be evidence that you were at the event. But you didn't fucking show up. You wasn't standing next to me when I was there. So you shouldn't get a trophy just because there's a record of your name physically been written on something. That's where we are, and that's what's going on. This video is not, oh, please help me, I need money. Oh, please this, please that. No, it's none of that shit. It's none of that shit. There's none of that. They're gonna give me another 2-week fucking notice, and I'm gonna pay my rent like I always do. That's the problem. But I need $1,200 to fix my fucking car. I need $1,200 to fix my car, and now I have to give Armed Forces Bank $600 for my bank account because they're mismanaging it. Because they're mismanaging it. Not because I'm going out drinking alcohol, not because I'm out smoking crack, not because I'm where am I, in Washington, not because I'm on Mill Plain buying hookers. Simply because I put together a system, I manage my money every day, I understand the way this is supposed to work. I call them and communicate effectively to them what I need them to do. They hear the words, don't fucking care. And so now the account is negative. And it's negative with me getting calls from American Credit Acceptance. Hey, when are you going to make a payment on your car? Well, what did they take the money out of my account for? How did my account go from negative $288 to negative $665 because you gave money to Best Buy? You gave Best Buy $100 on an account that was negative $288. And now it goes from 288 plus 100 minus 100 should be 388. But it goes from 288 to $600. Your math isn't fucking mathing. So when you hear Terrence Howard say 1 times 1 equals 2, that's the reason why. That's the reason why. Because it wouldn't matter if I had $100 million or $200 million. It would still be the same kind of energy trying to underline and undercut every fucking thing that I'm doing. And then you're sitting there at the bank having a conversation with them and they're projecting onto you about why it's your fault. I physically walked into the branch, physically sat down, physically shook the man's hand, had an exchange with them for almost an hour to set everything up. And you close the account down after you receive $1,000 fucking dollars. And when I call Armed Forces and I'm like, hey, this is what happened. When I call the VA and I'm like, hey, this is what happened. The money is gone. I don't know what to do. If they say, well, Mr. Emerson, we posted the money to the routing number and the checking number that you gave to us, there's nothing we can do to give you the money back. What am I supposed to do? How do I take KeyBank to court for stealing my fucking money? They routed the money to whatever address they chose and said that it's not my address because the address on my credit card is assigned to a P.O. box that no longer fucking exists in my name. So what the fuck am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? And you know, I would have updated my ID if I would have had the fucking funds available. If I would have had the money available, I would have went down there to the secretary, to the Department of Licensing, and I would have put my physical address on my ID. But when you can't afford to do fucking shit because your bank account is in the negative every goddamn month, what more are you supposed to do? You know what you're supposed to do? You're supposed to keep suffering. And the thing that bothers me more than anything, because I am not suicidal, this is the shit that everybody in this world is dealing with. And every time you see on the news that somebody committed suicide and everybody wants to say, oh, it's because they're mentally ill. No, it's because the fucking system is taking advantage of us. It's taking advantage of us. All these young people are coming into this world, into the same broken fucking bullshit that we've been in for so fucking long that has never fucking worked. And it doesn't make any sense why all the 40 and 50 and 60-year-olds keep allowing the same fucking system to keep doing the same fucking shit. When I told my mom what was happening, and she's like, yeah, you can't use your credit card to pay your rent. She never thought that that was weird. She never thought, it doesn't even enter her brain that paying your rent with your credit card is weird. If I keep making monthly deposits on my credit card and I build my credit card up to max it out, I have two. The first thing that KeyBank said when I opened the account, both fucking times, was, you know you're approved for a secured credit card. And I'm like, I don't need another fucking credit card. I don't need another credit card. You know why I'm approved? Because I pay my bills on fucking time. And y'all see what the fuck I'm building toward. You see what I'm building toward. You see that I'm trying to start my own fucking bank. You see exactly what it is that I'm trying to do. And your Caucasianness wants to intercept because you've been brainwashed into understanding that people that have my complexion and my hair texture should not have authority and power. The biggest fear of Caucasian Americans is that if African Americans ever get in a position to do to them what they're doing to us, that we will. And the worst part is they know that we will be justified to put their asses in low income and poor status and force their asses to have to climb just like they forced us to do for the next 200 fucking years. That is the biggest fear they have. But there's a thing in this country called an American fucking citizen. And if you would just operate from the fucking principles of American citizenship and provide the fucking type of quality of life and services and systems that you're supposed to, none of this stuff would be happening. Does Mr. Emerson have a social security number? Yes. Does Mr. Emerson have a valid driver's license? Yes. Is it registered with the state of Washington? Yes. What the fuck is the problem? Well, the address on the ID is going to an address that isn't associated with him. Did you mail him his fucking checking account? Did you mail him his check card? No, because the address on his ID card doesn't match the address on file. What's the address on file? It's this one. Did you send the checking account card to that file? No, we didn't do that. We just think that it's weird and suspicious, so we're gonna decline the. I want you to think about that you're sitting at your fucking desk, right? This is why I say that they're fucking incompetent. You're sitting at your desk. You have an account that has $6 in it that was opened 10 days ago, that is associated with an account that was opened over a year and a half, that had a low balance from a person that used to live in the state of Michigan, that was also a veteran with a military status, and you receive $1,000 stimulus from the federal fucking government. And you're sitting there like, this is really weird, and I don't understand what's going on. Your first thought should not be, I'm going to close the account down because none of the information makes any fucking sense. That shouldn't be your first thought. That's the reason why Caucasians are not automatically qualified to be in positions of authority, because of fucking racism. And it also is exactly the reason why I know that my skin complexion and my hair texture is not the problem that I have every day. I'm not fucking incompetent. I get subjected to incompetence all the time, but I'm not incompetent. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Oh, I'm worried about what might happen if I opened up an illegal account with somebody and it doesn't make any sense where this money just comes from randomly, and how can he just have $1,000 come into the account? Mr. Amerson, are you going to put any money in your account? I don't have any cash because I don't have a local bank. The Armed Forces bank account is 3 hours away, and Navy Federal is in Florida. I don't have a local bank account. That's the reason why I'm here, to open a local bank account. Oh, okay, well, we're going to need you to add money to the account. I have $1,200 on my Armed Forces bank. No, I have $1,200 on my Navy Federal checking account. Can I give you my debit card so that you can take money off of my debit card and put it in my bank account? Can I do that? No, there's no way that we could take money off of your debit card to put in your bank account. That's the reason why I closed down my Key Bank account, because you guys are a waste of fucking time. That's the reason why I shut the account down, because it's fucking useless. It doesn't make any sense for me to have a random account open in my name that I'm not using, just open in 2026. It doesn't make any sense. So since I can't use the account because you're not providing me with a service, I'm going to shut the account down. And now that I've closed the Key Bank account down, which was exactly what Armed Forces banks wanted me to do, because they don't want to have to compete with other institutions. So they achieved their objective, and now I'm stuck dealing with just them. Now they can do whatever the fuck they want on my account, because they know that I have to keep coming back to them. So my account is negative every month because I'm outside of the temporal cycle that they set up so they could justify taking advantage of us. And this is what I'm trying to communicate, but no one's going to hear it until it's time for you to understand. Something's going to happen in your life and you're going to be like, this is what he was talking about. This is why he was ranting and raving at the phone for over an hour. This is what he was talking about. I have a job. I work full time. I go to school full time, and I write all the time. Like I literally, because I keep being told that I need a hobby. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you the bank account. I need a hobby, right? And like you want me to understand. You're telling me that I need a hobby. This is what I do with my time. This is what I'm doing with my energy. You see all of this? This is the reason why they don't like what they see with my finances. The money that I make when I was in the military, I used it to produce a book. I use it to produce a book. I hired Nigerians to produce my book. I hired a Nigerian to produce this. I paid him money to produce this. That's why they don't like what they see on my account. When I was dating my wife, one of the requirements for fulfilling the visa application is you have to send money to the person that you love. So I was sending her money through Western Union and money orders. And that's the reason why they don't like the fact that I'm trying to use money orders for what? What is he using his money orders for? What is he doing? I'm paying my fucking rent because I have the checks to pay my rent, but you won't allow me to do that because you don't want me to do things outside of what you deem is acceptable. You keep conditioning me to fall in line and be in compliance in a system that is designed to operate against my best interests. Why the fuck would I be invested in being a failure? Why the fuck would I be invested in having to deal with unnecessary adversities? Why? What is the goal? Like, why? They have all of my financial history. They know financially what I'm doing. I don't have the biggest problem that they have with me is I don't have a criminal record. I don't have a criminal record and I'm a veteran. Those two things bothers them. It bothers the hell out of them that at the age of 43, this guy doesn't have a criminal record. He doesn't have any traffic violations. He has absolutely nothing. As far as this system is concerned, this guy is fucking perfect. He's fucking perfect. As far as the system is concerned, he's perfect. There is nothing weird or strange or unusual about his account, and that shit is weird and strange and unusual. How did he get through his whole fucking life and not get arrested, not have any kind of traffic violations? He's never been in a car accident. He doesn't have any medical records. Like, this guy basically he exists and doesn't exist at the same time. He is a superposition as far as the financial paperwork of this system is concerned. His child support is paid in full. He's a complete anomaly and we don't understand. And in that lack of understanding, they closed down my account. Even though I physically walked into the building, even though I have a social security number, even though I have an actual legal license. Because none of it adds up. And none of it adds up because you don't allow me to operate as an American citizen in this country. You don't allow me to function. I have to pay my rent. I have the fucking rent money. I just can't give it to the landlords. I don't understand why that is a thing. I don't get it. I cannot give them the money that I'm supposed to give to them to pay my fucking rent. And it doesn't make any it makes perfect sense, but I don't understand why it has to be a thing. So this is what we do. This is what adults have to deal with. When you're running around as a little kid and you're hearing your mother and father screaming and yelling and you don't understand why, this is what it's about. He's explaining to her about the adversities of being an African American male in this country, and she's looking at him like, you're making that shit up. Everything that you're saying to me is just lies, and that's why all you hear is women like, men always lying. All men do is lie. Things ain't as hard as they say they are. African American women are considered a minority. They are considered a minority. Even though everybody wants to run around and say, well, the most DEI hires are Caucasian women. No, the most DEI hires in this country are African American females. There are a ton of African American females that are amazing people like my mother that go out there and hustle and do all the shit that is necessary. But there are a lot of African American women that are living delusional ass worlds. They're just living in fucking delusion. They don't even know how to function and operate inside regular fucking society because they don't have to. They don't have to because the whole world wants African American women to not be reproducing with African American men. The whole fucking world. All of the Caucasians in this country, all the Caucasians across the world want the Africans not to fucking exist for no reason other than their ego. And it sounds weird, and it seems strange, and it feels like, oh, you're just projecting. But you can see the evidence if you just take a half second to use a higher percentage of your brain capacity to see what's going on in society. I don't understand how my account is negative. I don't get it. I don't fucking understand. I don't understand. It makes perfect sense based on all stereotypes why my account is negative. What doesn't make any sense is how does a guy that was homeless sleeping in his car manage to get out of being homeless sleeping in his car to get an apartment, and then all of a sudden he's no longer competent enough to manage his fucking finances? If I can manage my finances enough to sleep in my fucking car and go to work every day and go to Planet Fitness to shower and then have to drive another 20 minutes to do laundry, if I can manage all of that and then go to storage to rotate my clothing and function normal, if I can do all that shit, why can't I just pay my fucking rent? Why can't I just pay my rent? Why can't I just walk down, leave my apartment, walk to the leasing office and hand them a check? Why is that? Why would that become difficult? How would that be hard? If I was going to the gas station and filling up a generator, putting $5 in a generator, run a generator so that I could power my computer so I could chill and have electricity. I had a little electric heater that I was using so I wouldn't freeze to death. If I can do that, if I can go to the gas station and put $5 in pay them $5 to put gas in my gas generator to run my gas generator so that I could run my computer when I was sleeping in my car, why can't I pay my electric bill? Why wouldn't I be able to do that? Why wouldn't I be able to do that? Constantly, all the time, men communicate exactly what's going on with them, exactly what the problem they're having in life is, and you're not listening. So, when were you gonna? And then after that, you're like, okay, I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna say this, and then he's gonna respond like this, then I'm gonna communicate this, and then after I say this, then I'm gonna start manipulating him and persuading him to move this way so that I can get him to do what I want him to do, so that all these problems will go away. Problems only go away for women. For women. Men don't have problems. We solve problems. Being a masculine provider is to be a problem solver. So a strong, independent black woman that's operating her masculine energy would be a master problem solver. But they don't solve problems. They delegate their problems to somebody else. I need $500 to pay my rent. Who am I going to convince to give me the $500 so I can pay my rent? That is not the same thing as, let me get my ass up and go to work so I can make the money I need to pay this rent. Because we don't have the option to just get money from somebody else to pay bills. We have to manage what we have, and the fucking bank is in a position of authority, and they have power and control to prevent me from doing what the fuck I want to do, which is just pay my fucking rent. That's all I'm trying to do is pay my rent. I took out a $5,000 fucking loan from them, and I put that money into my rent. And I had been saving up to that moment so I'd be able to use that to buy fucking books so that I could sell them on the street. But I can't do any of that shit. I can't do any of it. I can't do none of it. Because the system's fucking broken. It doesn't want to work for us. It just wants to use us and take advantage of us and extract as much from us as they can. And the only thing we're doing is looking at each other and saying, you wouldn't be having that problem if you knew what you were doing, if you wasn't dumb, and if you wasn't stupid, and if you wasn't incompetent, and if you wasn't ADHD, and if you wasn't bipolar, and if you wasn't schizophrenic, and if you wasn't this, and if you wasn't that, and if you wasn't this, and if you wasn't that, you wouldn't. Why? Why can't you just hear what somebody say, understand what they're saying, and then operate from that energy? Why all the extra bullshit? Why all the extra bullshit? The account, as you saw, is negative $600. When the money would have came in for my VA loan, which I'm supposed to be using to do what? pay my rent. It would have went straight into the negative balance that they keep perpetuating. They keep creating the negative balance. I have to pay the bills. They are the ones that are in control over the money. They move the dates around however they see fucking fit. That's the reason why I created a 10-hour clock. I govern myself outside of their fucking system. And because I govern myself outside of their fucking system, I was able to recognize that the real problem is the fucking bank. The real problem is the bank. The inability for me to pay my fucking rent is the real problem. It doesn't make any sense why I can't just pay my rent. It just doesn't. It just doesn't make any sense why the hardest thing for me to do right now is pay rent. Oh, well, if you were smart, or if you wasn't dumb, or if you would just stop being a whining, complaining black guy, you wouldn't have the problems that you have. Everybody is the main character of their life. And what I'm communicating is the information that other people need to be able to make better decisions for their life. It's easy to get online and listen to somebody telling you everything that you want to hear. But when you find yourself in a situation, you're like, this is really weird and I don't understand why I'm in this situation. It's going to be useful to have a foundation upon which you can actually see what's going on. Come closer, Mr. Yin Yang. Bro, you can't do anything white. Bro, you can do anything white people can do. You got no money. This man is working right now. It might be tips-based compensation, but it is something. You were just a regular dude going through some of the common challenges many people face. The math just isn't adding up. Said hi. Yes, the whole system is corrupt. Come closer, come closer. The math is adding up. I'm showing you the thing about life. How can I explain it in a way that how can I put this in a context where the thing about life is that when you are supposed to do something and you do the thing you're supposed to do and you don't get the outcome that you expect, and then when you communicate that, if you're in line at the cafeteria and you're supposed to get 2 scoops of food, this is like just creating a condition that you can understand. If you're in line at the cafeteria and you're supposed to get 2 scoops of food, and everybody's getting 2 scoops of food, and then you get up there and they give you 1 scoop, and you're looking like, I'm supposed to get 2 scoops, and they're like, you got 1. Then you look at the person next to you and they got 2 scoops, and then you go ahead and proceed on, and then you look at the person to the left of you and then they receive 2 scoops, and you're like, I only got 1 scoop, and you're like, how did you get 2 scoops? It's like, oh, you always get 2 scoops, and you're like, I only got 1, and then they look at you and they say, not my problem, and you're like, but I asked them for 2 and they only give me 1, and then they're like constantly making it your fault, constantly communicating to you how the reason why the outcome for you is different is because of you. And the reason why people do that is because if you're the person with 2 scoops of food, you don't have a problem. You don't have to worry about not having 2 scoops of food because you have 2 scoops of food. But the person that has the obvious problem, that is bringing the problem to you and is communicating the problem to you, you're telling them that the issue isn't what they think it is. It's fine, it's normal, it's okay. So then they show up again and they get 1 scoop. So now they're just gonna accept the 1 scoop while everyone else is getting 2 scoops, right? And then eventually somebody else in the line is like, I only got 1 scoop. And then the person that has only gotten the 1 scoop for a while is like, don't worry about it, man. I only got 1 scoop too. Oh, this is dumb. I don't understand. I'm supposed to get 2 scoops. So then eventually the whole fucking line goes from having 2 scoops of food to 1 scoop of food. And here's the problem that I have. All of the extra food that they saved, they're just going to write that shit off as a tax break. They're going to just write it all off as a tax break. They're going to order less food with the same budget, and they're going to use the money that they keep to make themselves a little bit more wealthy. Like, for what? Like, why does that have to be a thing? Why is that the end game goal? Why do you create laws and regulations and ordinances to enforce and hurt other people while indirectly going out of your way to have loopholes for you? That's what MAGA is. That's what white people are engaged in. The politicians create all these rules and laws to govern the masses, and then create a condition of authority where they don't have to operate under the same principles and laws that they operate in. Like universal health care. Politicians are like, no, the average American shouldn't have universal health care and have high quality health care. But they have full coverage health care. Why do politicians have full coverage health care? Why do they have really high quality, good health care as a politician if they don't think that it's of any value? And that is the thing that the individual average person, we don't worry about. We don't question it because we're constantly telling each other to just shut the fuck up and accept your one fucking scoop until it's your turn to get one fucking scoop. But by the time it's your turn to get one fucking scoop, all the people that would have supported you in making sure that you continue to get 2 scoops of food, you told them to sit down and shut the fuck up and be quiet. So you created a condition to where now you was receiving 2 scoops of food, but now you are also only receiving 1 scoop of food. Does that make sense? Because that's kind of like what has been going on for so long. But global connectivity is like, the next generation doesn't have to do this stupid shit. You don't have to do this stupid shit. You don't have to be part of this system. It's not necessary. There's no need for you to show up and comply. You should be able to be a decent person, be honest, be kind, respectful, be humble, obey the laws, follow the rules and ordinances that are applied, and expect to be treated correctly as a citizen of this country. What's the point of being black? What's the point of being white? If you can explain why it's so fucking important for some people to identify as black and for some people to identify as white, then that would be great. But there doesn't seem to be a reason. We're all fucking Americans. Like, we should all just be Americans. You should be an American or you should not be an American. And if you're not an American, it shouldn't be okay for corporations to bring you in to undercut my income, to pay you less than they're paying me, to work you twice as hard because you don't have documents and paperwork to show that you're legally a citizen of the country. So I'm gonna make you work twice as hard for half the income. Why is it okay for corporations to do that? If a guy brings in a bunch of people and makes them work for half of what is expected based on labor laws, and you report a regular citizen, the police will arrest him and put him in jail for labor law violation. So why is it okay for corporations to just bring in millions of illegals to undercut the average non-Caucasian American at work? That's all that they do. They bring in the Hispanic guy and pay him less than they pay the African American guy, and they pay the African American guy minimum wage and expect him to work twice as hard next to the Hispanic guy. That's the reason why I left Firestone. I'm not going to be working around all these people that can't speak English, and then you're just going to pay me the bare minimum of what you're paying everybody else to work with him, and then I'm supposed to be like, I'm better than you, and I'm faster than you, and I'm stronger than you, and I'm going to work harder than you so that I can get fucking crumbs. I'm not doing that shit. I'm not doing it. It's not in my best interest. It's not in my best fucking interest. If you happen to identify as black or African American or anything else, and you're at work and you're being treated like shit by your Caucasian coworkers, their desire to feel superior to you is valuable. Make them pay you more fucking money to disrespect you. Make them pay you for that shit. It doesn't make any sense for you not to get compensated for something that is of value. It seems to be of a value to Caucasians to be superior to the African American. So make the asses pay you for that shit. Stop showing up to work and being disrespected and mistreated and underpaid. It doesn't make any sense for us to keep doing that shit. The only reason why I'm allowing them to underpay me at North Coast is because I'm chilling. I make $3,600 a month as income. I'm chilling. The bank shouldn't be making things harder than it needs to be. I could rant for the rest of the night, but I got it out of my system. I'm gonna figure this shit out. Yeah, I always figure this shit out. That's the problem. I shouldn't have to keep having to go out of my way to overcome the unnecessary evils of this world. What I should do is I should just go fucking fix my car. I should just take my fucking check and go fix my car and just go back to being fucking homeless. That's what I should do. Because sooner or later my car is gonna stop working. And then as soon as my car stopped working, everyone's gonna be like, well, if you knew your car had problems, you should have taken care of it. But you see the negative $622 balance in my armed forces bank account. And if I don't pay them, they're gonna lower my credit score. And if they lower my credit score, I'm not gonna be able to get a house. And everyone's gonna be like, black people always got bad credit. That's the fucking reason why. My income is $3,600 fucking dollars. But they want to steal money from me. That's all that they're doing. That's what it looks like. They're just stealing fucking money from me. Because I'm outside the system. When I went to North Coast and they were like, yeah, we're gonna convert you over. I'm like, can you wait till February? No, we have to do it now. It's gonna be really inconvenient for you to do that shit now. Can you wait till February? No, we're gonna do it now. Negative $600 fucking dollars because my employers couldn't wait till February to convert me over to full time. They had to convert me over at the end of the year so that they can use it as a tax write-off so they can save the warehouse money. So they made money. They don't care about how it negatively affects my life. So yeah, and these are the cycles. This is how this shit works. This is what it looks like. And I already know the average person is gonna come on here and be like, he's crazy, he's psychotic, he's delusional, he's lying, he's scheming, he's hiding. Do that shit. Nothing that you say. My father said, somebody tells you that you have $1 million in your pocket, it's not gonna put $1 million in your pocket. So don't fucking worry about what they're saying to you, Paul PC. He said it to me all the goddamn time when I was a kid. The two things he said to me all the fucking time that started making sense when I listened to the military was that thing that I just said, and the other thing, which was you're just stuck on fucking stupid. You were just stuck on fucking stupid. You were just not gonna stop being fucking dumb. He said that all the goddamn time. And I don't care how you feel about my father telling me that I was stupid. Because the difference between being stupid and ignorance is being given the right information and still doing the wrong fucking thing. And my father gave me the right fucking information and I kept doing the wrong fucking thing. So his analogy of me was correct. You know better, you're stuck on fucking stupid. And every day I go out in this world and all the shit that my mother taught me and all the shit that my father taught me, I apply it to my life and I look at the world and I say, it doesn't make any fucking sense. None of this shit makes any fucking sense. It doesn't. I don't understand how we can calculate the fucking speed of light, but when I turn my blinker on, the person behind me accelerates toward me. It doesn't make any fucking sense. The blinker's not even fucking green. So why do you automatically accelerate when you see that I'm trying to get over? You know that I need to get over to get off and exit, but you get in my fucking way. You create an unnecessary conflict for fucking what? What is the goal of trying to create a collision because you want to be aggressive and I'm not going to let you because you don't have any fucking control over anything in your life. So when you're in your car and you see people who are trying to navigate, you want to get some little level of control left that you don't have, and you want to be all aggressive in your car for no fucking reason. Because all of the things that you should be doing and everywhere you should be applying force, you're not. You're fucking not. So now you want to be all upset with Paul Emerson because he has to get to where he's trying to go, just like you have to get to where you're trying to go. So let me get in his way and let me stop him from getting where he's trying to go. For what? For what? The whole world is broken. Everywhere across the entire fucking country. Like somebody said, I'll say this last thing and then I'll sign off. Somebody said, well, we don't have money for Medicare and we don't have money for schools and we don't have money for this and we don't have money for that. we got money for a war. The whole reason why they were trying to move financial assets around was so they could spend money on the war, because the entire foundation of Caucasians' authority is built on Judaism, and Judaism is built on what? On what? It's built on Israel. So everything the Europeans have been doing for the last 2,000 or 3,000 years to justify their position of authority and their position of power in this world rests on the nation of Israel. And that's the reason why Israel is so fucking arrogant. All Israel had to do was be peaceful. All they had to do was be peaceful, and none of what's happening right now would be happening. But because God gave them the right to go around the globe and murder everybody that chooses not to be a Christian, they did what the fuck they wanted to do. And we have to suffer for it for no fucking reason. And I'm going to say this one more time for anybody that's still watching. These videos are for the younger generation not to do the same thing that you see us adults doing. Don't make the same fucking decisions that we made to get us from where we was to where we are, because you can see with your own eyes that none of the shit that we did worked. So don't repeat the same pattern of behavior. Don't go to work. Stay home. Stop entertaining bullshit. If you have an influencer that you like, write his name physically on your ballot and don't check any of the fucking boxes. Write Jake Paul on the fucking ballot and put his name in the electoral office box so that some random person that happens to be an American citizen could just be in position of authority instead of picking of the lesser of two evils. Just stop entertaining the bullshit and do that shit globally. Unify globally. Why not? Why not? They're suffering in China, they're suffering in Russia, they're suffering in Germany, they're suffering in India, they're suffering in Australia, they're suffering every fucking where. Everywhere humans are suffering based on the way we are governing ourselves with antiquated values and antiquated systems. So if there's human suffering universal, it's not because that is the way God wants it to be. It's because we're fucking stupid. So quit letting them convince you that the biggest problem in the world are black and brown people, and understand that all of the Caucasians that are governing the world are doing a bad job at it. They're doing a bad job of governing the world. So maybe we should force them to do a better job. And we force them of doing a better job by not moving the way that they want us to move. It's not hard. You don't have to murder nobody. You don't have to get guns and form militias. You just need to not show the fuck up. Everybody that went to the No Kings protest, that's great. If that same number of people start working, that would shut everything down. But we wouldn't be able to pay our rent. Then they would start processing us for evictions and everything else, so we stay in compliance. But they can't evict 1 million fucking people. They can serve 1 million people with paperwork. They would have to process all of it. We have a right as American citizens to due process. That means that if 1 million fucking people didn't pay their rent and 1 million people got served eviction notices, they would have to put together 1 million fucking cases, 1 million court cases. And if they actually did the labor to file 1 million court cases, could you imagine if all of the landlords were all at the courts filing paperwork because 1 million people didn't pay their rent? In multiple countries across the United States, people just stopped paying their fucking rent. And landlords, because they're gonna react in accordance, they started the process to evict everybody. And they're going to the courts and they're like, nobody's paying their rent. And it's like, why are you here? They're not paying their rent. I'm here because my tenants didn't pay their rent too. And it's like 1,000 fucking landlords all at the courts filing for eviction paperwork because Americans aren't paying their rent. That's what will get shit done. But you know why we won't do that? Because we drive by as the homeless people all the time and we don't want to be them. That's the reason why homeless exists. To scare you into being in compliance with a broken fucking system. That's the reason why it exists. And they want me, Paul Emerson, the black and brown guy, to be on the street homeless to continue to convince you guys that if you're not going to be a Christian, if you're not going to be in compliance with the system, and if you're not going to follow the laws and obey the rules, then this is going to be your outcome. I will never fucking be Christian. I will never fucking love Jesus. Absolutely not. Never. Not ever. I will never worship a white man. It will never happen. I will respect white people. I will respect Caucasians. I will respect other Americans when they deserve it, but I would never worship another person. I'm not going to ideologize about the image of Jesus Christ as a Caucasian and keep thinking that they're going to just keep getting a pass. I'm going to continue to always be in opposition to the fucking bullshit. Just fucking forever. Until I die, I will always be in opposition to the bullshit, and I will continue to build systems that will fix the fucking problems because I am a problem solver. To be a husband and a father is to be a fucking problem solver. And we solve the problem of our opposition to nature, and then we created our own unnecessary false problems because Caucasians want to maintain their position of authority. They don't want to earn it. They don't want to have to compete against it. They just want to be able to wake up every day and know that I will always have this position of authority and I will always have this status in life. And it doesn't matter what I do or don't do, it'll never fucking change. Key Bank and Armed Forces Bank and Navy Federal complicated my life for no reason because the only thing I need to do is I need them to be financial institutions and manage my money, and they don't want to do that. And when I go down to talk to my landlord, I'm just the fucking nigger that's just making excuses because I'm broke and I don't have any money. And I can be like, well, fuck all of this. I'm just going to move out and just be homeless. And then I can just keep all my money to myself. That's not the fucking goal. I'm not going to college every day to learn how to design video games to be negative in my account. Like, that's not the goal. That is not what I'm trying to do. Like, it doesn't make any fucking sense. None of it makes sense. Like, none of it. As always, my name is Paul Emerson. I'm giving you my 2 cents. 2 days from now, it's going to be a run day.